Pawn e2 to e4.
Pawn e7 to e5.
Pawn f2 to f4.
Pawn d7 to d5.
Pawn e4 takes d5.
Pawn e5 to e4.
Pawn d2 to d3.
Knight g8 to f6.
Pawn d3 takes e4.
Knight f6 takes e4.
Queen d1 to d3.
Knight e4 to f6.
Knight b1 to c3.
Bishop f8 to c5.
Queen d3 to e2. Check.
Bishop c5 to e7.
Queen e2 to c4.
Pawn c7 to c6.
Pawn d5 takes c6.
Knight d8 takes c6.
Bishop c1 to d2.
Castle kingside.
Knight g1 to f3.
Bishop c8 to e6.
Queen c4 to e2.
Rook f8 to e8.
Castle queenside.
Bishop e7 to b4.
Queen e2 to b5.
Rook a8 to b8.
Bishop d2 to e1.
Queen d8 to e7.
King c1 to b1.
Bishop e6 to g4.
Bishop e1 to d2.
Rook b8 to d8.
Bishop f1 to d3.
Bishop g4 takes f3.
Pawn g2 takes f3.
Knight c6 to d4.
Queen b5 to c4.
Knight d4 takes f3.
Bishop d2 to c1.
Bishop b4 takes c3.
Queen c4 takes c3.
Knight f6 to e4.
Bishop d3 takes e4.
Queen e7 takes e4.
Rook d1 takes d8.
Rook e8 takes d8.
Rook h1 to d1.
Rook d8 to f8.
Pawn h2 to h3.
Pawn a7 to a6.
Queen c3 to d3.
Queen e4 takes d3.
Rook d1 takes d3.
Knight f3 to g1.
Pawn f4 to f5.
Pawn f7 to f6.
Bishop c1 to d2.
Rook f8 to e8.
Pawn h3 to h4.
Rook e8 to e5.
Rook d3 to d8. Check.
King g8 to f7.
Rook d8 to d7. Check.
Rook e5 to e7.
Rook d7 to d3.
King f7 to e8.
Pawn c2 to c4.
Rook e7 to d7.
Rook d3 to e3. Check.
King e8 to f7.
King b1 to c2.
Pawn g7 to g6.
Pawn f5 takes g6. Check.
Pawn h7 takes g6.
Pawn c4 to c5.
Pawn f6 to f5.
Pawn c5 to c6.
Pawn b7 takes c6.
Rook e3 to a3.
Knight g1 to e2.
Rook a3 takes a6.
Pawn f5 to f4.
Pawn a2 to a4.
Rook d7 to e7.
Bishop d2 to b4.
Knight e2 to d4. Check.
King c2 to d2.
Pawn c6 to c5.
Bishop b4 to c3.
Pawn f4 to f3.
Bishop c3 takes d4.
Pawn c5 takes d4.
Rook a6 to c6.
Rook e7 to e2. Check.
King d2 to d3.
Rook e2 to e3. Check.
King d3 to d2.
Rook e3 to b3.
Rook c6 to c2.
Pawn f3 to f2.
Rook c2 to c1.
King f7 to e6.
King d2 to c2.
Rook b3 to f3.
Rook c1 to f1.
King e6 to f5.
Pawn a4 to a5.
King f5 to f4.
Pawn a5 to a6.
King f4 to e3.
Pawn b2 to b3.
Pawn d4 to d3. Check.
King c2 to c3.
Pawn d3 to d2.
Pawn a6 to a7.
Rook f3 to f8.
Rook f1 to a1.
Rook f8 to a8.
Pawn b3 to b4.
King e3 to e2.
Pawn b4 to b5.
Pawn d2 to d1 promoting to queen.
Rook a1 takes d1.
King e2 takes d1.
King c3 to d4.
Rook a8 takes a7.
Pawn b5 to b6.
Rook a7 to d7. Check.
King d4 to c5.
Pawn f2 to f1 promoting to queen.
Pawn h4 to h5.
Queen f1 to f5. Check.
King c5 to c4.
Queen f5 to d5. Check.
King c4 to b4.
Rook d7 to d6.
Pawn h5 takes g6.
Rook d6 takes d6. Check.
King b4 to a3.
Queen d5 to b3. Checkmate.